Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed this masterclass. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or you can also click the link below. I offer complimentary brand audits. I'd be happy to look over your business and find ways we can improve it. Peace.
Cool. All right, guys. So as everybody is trickling in, as you know, Wednesdays are the masterclass days. So we've got Jackson over here on the left side of me, who is going to be doing a masterclass on how to go viral with short form content. He's been blowing up. I mean, some of the content I've seen, it's amazing. It's crazy how many views they've gotten. And if you guys were on like the call that we were on, I think it was last Monday or Wednesday, we were talking about this, and the price that you pay for the amount of impressions that you can get organic is night and day difference. So as you know, one of the main things we always talk about in here is content. It's huge. It's, you know, it's low hanging fruit, especially if you're running ads. So I wanted to get Jackson to come on and do an entire masterclass for you guys, so you can learn some of the strategies that he's using to go viral and how you can, you know, implement some of these things yourself too. So Jackson, I'll let you take it over, and we'll run from here.
Yeah. Awesome. So I got to just share my screen here real quick. Let's see. Can you see presentation?
Yeah.
Looking good. All right, cool. Let's run into it. So what's up, guys? I'm Jackson. Today, I'm going to take you through what I call the organic growth accelerator, right? So the goal of this presentation is to show you how to become an authority in your niche in 90 days for free, right? So who am I? My name is Jackson. I'm an artist. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'd say I'm a marketer. I spell marketer wrong. But basically kind of my story is back in college, I was looking for ways to help, you know, pay my tuition. So I started a business on Amazon selling musical instruments, and was fortunately able to scale that to about $20,000 a month. And I used that money to launch my music career. I am now also a touring artist. Every couple of weeks, I play a show in a different city. A couple of weekends ago, we did the backstage party for the Chili Peppers. So that was pretty cool. And basically from that, I kind of combine these two passions, right? Like from running this business, I developed a passion for marketing, and from doing the music side, you know, obviously I have a passion for creation, and I kind of combine those passions to launch my current business, Passion Toolbox, right? So Passion Toolbox, essentially we study the music industry, and now we've kind of shifted to just the creator economy in general. I started making content covering basically what people have done to become successful, right? Like at the end of the day, how do we get what we want? We just find other people that have already done it and learn from them and then repeat it, right? That's why we're all here in the first place, right? So my channel basically dives into studying what people have done to be successful. And from that, you know, I figured out a formula that worked pretty well. I was able to build up my platform to over 115,000 followers. You know, I've gone viral over 200 times, and, you know, constantly get millions of views on my channel. It was crazy when you told me that you're spending like, I think it was like what, like 10 to 15,000 for 1 million impressions. Cause I look at that and I did the math and I'm like, damn it, 250 million views on the internet. That's like $2.5 million in ads.
Yeah. And that's why I think this is so important for you guys, is because like you said, we're spending around 15K a month on ads, and getting 1 million impressions gets a little pricey. Whereas, you know, you can use other sources like this of going viral and getting them for free.
And not just that, but by making better content, that's the number one variable on why your ad will be successful, right? So it'll allow you to actually get cheaper ads as well. So it's synergistic in a lot of ways, right? So that being said, from building this platform, you know, getting all this attention allowed me to do a bunch of brand deals. I've worked with, you know, over 100 brands, ranging from like DJ Khaled, a company called DistroKid, Virgin Hotels, Armani White. He's got that song, that Billie Eilish song, if you guys know that song. And yeah, just like a bunch of different companies and a bunch of different verticals. And what it really taught me was how to sell without selling. That is really the key to all of this. Where everyone messes up on social media is they treat it like an advertisement, but people don't want to see that, right? We're numb to that. What we want to see is real people showing us stuff that we're actually interested in. And so the key when promoting your business or any product or service or offer is to figure out, how do I make them not even think this is an ad? Like, that's my goal when I was working with all these companies. Like, I did this video for DistroKid, right? I'm showing how to get your lyrics on Instagram stories, right? I'm just giving a useful tip. These people don't know this is a brand deal. And that's why it got like almost 100,000 views, right? As a brand deal, I got paid $600 to make this video and it got almost 100,000 views. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can find a good way to present what you're doing with the goal of them not even knowing that you're selling something, that's what really is the key to making this turn into clients. Because it's good to get the traffic, but we want to make sure that traffic actually leads somewhere, which I'll dive into that a little more in a bit. But, you know, just some of the results I've been able to get, you know, I helped my friend Knowledge, he's a DJ. I helped him get him over 1 million views on a video. I helped my friend Alan build his platform to, you know, he's gotten in front of over 7 million people now. I also did kind of just like, I'll dive into this a little different, but I launched an e-commerce store with the goal of just literally just generating traffic to show that these strategies work. And in 30 posts, I was able to get almost, you know, 2 million views. So this really comes down to the formulas that I've implemented, which is what we'll dive into now, right? Like, how did I get to this point where I can generate all this traffic? Well, at first I sucked and I couldn't generate traffic, right? That's where probably a lot of us are when it comes to organic content. Like, back during the pandemic, I was like determined to figure out how to make TikTok work. So I just started posting as much as I could, but I had no general aim, didn't really know who I was speaking to. I was just posting. And I did so bad. I made over 600 videos and only gained 1,800 followers, which, like, now I look at that and I'm like, it's horrible, right? And the reason why is because I was just blindly posting. I was like, oh, it's not that my content sucks. It's that I'm just not working hard enough, you know? And that's just wasn't true. I wasn't listening to the marketplace and changing the content I was making. So inevitably, I finally tried something different. And I started covering stuff I was genuinely interested in. This was the birth of Passion Toolbox, right? Being, you know, a creative and a marketing nerd myself, like, you know, I'm fascinated about learning all these strategies that people have done to become successful. And once I started diving into that, inevitably I had my first video that hit. And it was, I made a video about how Rust blew up. And it got like 30,000 views. I was like, yay, we're finally here. And then a couple videos later, I did this one on like how Soulja Boy tricked people into listening to his music. And that video got like 600,000. And that's when I went, oh, okay. So instead of trying to teach marketing, I should teach marketing through storytelling, talking about people that are already interested in. And that's when I found the formula for my channel. Talk about people they're already interested in, tell a story, teach a lesson. And so I doubled down on that. And that's what led to my platform growing into what it is today, right? So I kind of broke down that whole process into 3 phases, right? We have the testing phase. Most of you are probably in the testing phase. If you're not getting consistent organic traffic, you're either not posting or you just haven't found something that works yet, right? So when we're first posting, our goal is to find something we can recreate over and over again. Because once we have that, it becomes very easy to grow these channels because you just make the same types of videos over and over, just switching out a simple variable. For me, that's talking about artists, right? The only variable I have to switch is who I'm talking about and the lesson I'm teaching, right? That's very repeatable. And I can do that over and over and over again without having to have much thought, right? Then from there, once we find something that works, we want to move towards the optimization phase. So this is, you know, now that we have consistent traffic coming in, how do we make sure that we're leveraging it correctly? How do we get more traffic out of the attention we're building? We start to optimize now that we know, you know, how to get that momentum, which kind of leads us into the final phase. Once we have that dialed, which is the amplification phase. Now that we have momentum, we need to amplify our brand to as many platforms as possible. That's not just social media. That's also your networks. And there's a lot that goes into that when I say platforms. That's more than just, you know, your other channels. That's a piece of it, but we'll get into that in a second, right? So any questions so far before I dive into, you know, how we go through that process?
No, this is dope. I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, let's hop into it. So first phase, right, is the testing phase. This is where most people never get out of, right? They think this is, where I was for 600 videos, was trying to just find something that works, right? So it's important that I give you guys a little context just to understand where we're at right now in 2022 on the internet. Basically, a couple of years ago, TikTok came out and their algorithm was way better at keeping our attention, right? Because instead of us trying to decide what we want to watch, an algorithm is deciding what we want to watch, which has a lot more data to use and has basically figured out how to release extreme amounts of dopamine in our brain, right? That's why sometimes you'll scroll on TikTok and you'll be like, whoa, it's been 2 hours. You don't even realize it, right? And so what happened from that is they started pulling the attention from all these other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these other platforms started losing their audience to TikTok. Right now, TikTok, they did a study, I believe last year, TikTok was the only major platform that grew in user rate. The rest are actually shrinking because TikTok is literally pulling their attention in. And so all these other platforms went, oh shit, if we don't do something soon, we're gonna lose to TikTok because people's attention spans are shrinking. Their algorithm is really good at keeping their attention. And, literally I saw this video where they were showing that literally people watching Netflix will have Netflix playing and in the background they're scrolling on TikTok because it's just quick. It's a stronger drug. You know what I mean? It's more effective at releasing that dopamine. So, really TikTok has become king. And what that's forced all these other platforms to do is try to copy them, right? Instagram came out with Reels. YouTube came out with Shorts, right? Pinterest came out with their own version. Reddit came out with their own version. Snapchat came out with their own version. And the truth is all of their algorithms suck compared to TikTok, right? I don't know if you guys scroll on Reels, but their algorithm is horrible, right? But they're trying to work it out. So what they're forced to do right now is incentivize short form media on their platform. So all the other types of media we're doing are actually now getting suppressed and short form media is getting rewarded. So it's very important that you guys have a strong short form media strategy within your marketing plan, because even if you are doing other forms of organic media, it's not that those can't also work. It's just that you're swimming upstream with those, right? We have something that's being suppressed versus something that's being amplified, right? So that being said, let's understand how the algorithm works, right? On TikTok and all these platforms that are trying to copy them. So the biggest thing to understand about TikTok is you're playing a probability game. If you don't know what you're doing, the chances of your content hitting are less than 1%, right? That was what happened with me. I had no idea what I was doing, made hundreds of videos. None of them ever really hit. And even if I had the occasional one that did well, I didn't know why I did well in the first place, right? Because it was just one of those random outliers, right? So our goal is to increase our probability. All the strategies I'm about to teach you in a second, the goal of those is, each strategy we implement is to just push the ball a little closer. And the way these algorithms work on TikTok is they show your content to a small group of people, like a batch group, right? If it performs well with them, they show it to a bigger group. If it performs well with them, they show it to an even bigger group, and so on and so forth. So that's how you can get these videos that go crazy, because they just check the right boxes that the algorithm is looking for, right? Now, the main thing that these algorithms are looking for is watch time, right? Why? Think about it. How do they make money? From ads, right? How do they show you more ads? You stay on their platform longer, right? So all these platforms, every single platform, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, every single platform, they're optimizing for what's going to keep people here so we can monetize them, right? So with all these strategies we're implementing, they're really all used to increase the length that someone watches our video, right? And what that will do is that will start to push us to these tipping points, right? You might be one metric away from getting pushed into that next tier of people. And our goal is to reach that, right? So real quick, now, how do we do that, right? How do we increase our probability of our content performing well? Before I dive into it, I just recommend you guys all take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna dive into a lot of these, more deeply here, but just this is something you can reference when you're making your content, right? There's a ton of different strategies we can implement to accomplish this goal of increasing our probability, right? And the more of these we can implement into each video, it's just, each one of these strategies will push it another 0.5%, another 0.7%, another 3%. There's no real way of tracking it. But like I said, sometimes that extra just 0.2% of implementing the additional strategy is enough to push it into that next tier of people. And that's the difference between getting 5,000 views and getting 50,000, right? So let's dive into these, right? The number one key is you just got to go hard as fuck. Right? Consistency is king over everything, right? So the best way to be consistent is to build your self-esteem around posting, not around the outcome, because it becomes so easy to get caught up in the metrics, right? Even me, I have videos that flop to this day, right? I've had videos get 8 million views. A video I posted yesterday is sitting at 200. But you know why I don't care? Because I understand that's one video closer to the one that's going to hit, right? I've gotten to a point now where my probability of my content hitting is anywhere from 10 to 30%. So if a video flops, I'm like, cool, I'm 10% closer to the one that's going to hit, right? I'm doing my job. I'm building my self-esteem around the right habits, right? Not around the outcome of the videos, because you're going to work your ass off on some of these videos. And they're going to flop and you're going to take it personal. You're going to be like, why is this flopping and these other stupid videos aren't? The truth is there's an aspect of this that is just random. That's why I hate all these, TikTok gurus and all these, people being like, you got to use these hashtags at these times of days. It's like, there's no way of truly knowing what the reason was that your videos hit. There's a million different variables at play. And some of them might not even be the piece of content. It might just be the batch of people that saw it, right? So when we can focus on the right habits and not on the outcome of our video, that's what leads to the result you're looking for. Does that make sense?
Yep, this is great, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Awesome. So the best way to approach, someone's mic's on, by the way. I don't know if.
You're good. I just muted everybody.
All right, cool. So the best way to view your social media is to treat it like going to the gym, right? That's how you can take yourself outside of this mindset of like worrying about whether or not your video hits, right? Because at the end of the day, if you go to the gym for the first time and you do like 20 squats and then you immediately hop on the scale and you're like, why didn't I lose any weight? And then you quit, like you're never going to get in shape, right? Same thing with building your brand. If you post 100 videos and none of them hit and you're coming out here like, why am I not famous yet? Like chances are you're probably going to quit, because you need to treat this like a lifestyle, not like an objective, right? It's something that you do for a living. You now are a creator for a living, because that's what's going to lead to the opportunities. And so I literally write out an actual content schedule, right? Kind of like we have the master tracker in this group, but I literally just put out a schedule, right? The date, the platform I'm posting on, the video, and then I track it. If I post it, I make it green. If I don't post it, I make it red, right? So I can see clearly at the end of the month, like if I'm not getting the results I want, well, how much did I post? Did I stick to what I agreed to, right? Just like going to the gym, right? Very similar. So when we're consistent, it actually has an exponential effect. Here's why. Earlier, I was mentioning how our goal is to push these videos through that tipping point, right? Well, when you put out, let's say you put out 3 videos a day, right? Well, what happens when people see those videos? They click to your profile and they check out your other content. And you know what? You might put out 10 videos over the next 3 days, and one of those videos is sitting at 4,000 views. And then your 10th video, goes viral. And then those people go back and watch that one. And that's the catalyst to get that into the next tier, where all of a sudden that video has 50,000, right? So the more you post, the more your other videos perform better, right? It's kind of like pedaling a bike, right? Like the more you pedal your bike, the easier it is to go fast. But the moment you stop pedaling, you have to build back up that momentum again, So other things we can do to increase our probability. This one you guys obviously have on deck already, but it's really important, is know who you're speaking to. I don't know why this isn't loading. Maybe I have like an animation on it. I don't know what happened to it. Anyways, know who you're speaking to, right? Because well, my channel, the reason I made hundreds of videos and never got any views is because no one had any reason of following me. They didn't know what I represented. I was just posting mainly content, just promoting myself, right? No one cared. They didn't know what value they got from me. The more specific you are, the easier it is for these algorithms to learn who to show you to, right? Because these algorithms are predicting. They're going, who is likely to resonate with this content? Well, if you're specifically doing fitness for women, then it's going to serve you to the people that resonate to women's fitness content, right? And we're able to dial that in. And when someone clicks on your profile, they abundantly know what to expect from you and, know why to follow you and are more likely to engage with your content because it represents them, right? So now that we know we need to post consistently, we know who we're speaking to, we understand kind of the strategy here. Let's talk about like, what should we actually even post in the first place, right? So the number one priority when we're making our content is to have a strong hook, right? The first 1 to 3 seconds of your video will determine how well the entire video performs. 99% of the time, if your video flops, it's because your hook just didn't capture people's attention, right? Like, think about it. Like when people are scrolling on, TikTok, we're like fiends looking for that dopamine rush, right? We're like drug addicts, right? So if they click on your video and you take 5 seconds to get to the point, even if the rest of that video is amazing, they scroll off of it before you even got to that, right? So we got to get their attention. And if our hook's strong, then we just bought 5, 10, 15 seconds of their time, right? Because if we really capture their attention, they're like, all right, I'm going to hear this guy out. What has he got going on here, right? And then if we can perform on a good video from there, we're able to leverage that hook, build momentum, and that's what leads to high watch time, which leads to, virality. Now, how do we know if we have a strong hook? The easiest way to know is just ask yourself from an unbiased perspective. And sometimes that's asking the people around you, would this get me to stop scrolling, right? If you're not sure, go back to the drawing board, write out another 5, 10 hooks and pick the best one, right? But at the end of the day, we're trying to like really create what I call a pattern interrupt, right? When these people are scrolling, we're trying to show them something that like captures their attention and gets them to stop scrolling, right? So pro tip, I would read this book, Hook Points. They dive into a lot in that book about, how to develop strong hooks. But that being said, I'll kind of summarize what I would recommend on how you can write a strong hook. There's a bunch of strategies we can do to do that, right? So the number one is to leverage borrowed interest. So what do I mean by that? Well, think about it. If we're trying to get someone interested in our video, why don't we just talk about things they're already interested in? That seems pretty logical to me, right? And so what are those things? It could be celebrities. It could be trending news. It could be, pain points they have, frequently asked questions, right? Things that problems they're trying to solve, right? And when you can figure out, this is the biggest thing that built my channel, is when you can figure out how to tie in celebrities to your niche, that is the ultimate cheat code. Because if, like, for example, if you're in the fitness niche, you could do a video like, here's how to look like Thor, right? That's going to perform way better than, hey, here's how I got a 6-pack, right? They don't know who you are. They don't give a shit about you, but they give a shit about Thor because last night they watched the Marvel movie with their girlfriend and saw her gawking at him and was like, I got to look like that. You know what I mean? That's going to capture their attention, right? So other things we can do is be contradicting. Here's how I got a 6-pack by eating brownies. That's a pattern interrupt because you're like, wait, what? That's an oxymoron here. Like, that doesn't make sense. Now I'm interested. I want to know more, right? Another one is be confusing, right? So that's what I did on this video. How racism made Jay-Z $400 million, right? You see that and you're like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? And so you want to watch more, right? A couple other things, right? Be controversial. So you got to be careful with this one. Obviously, you don't want to do things that, like hurt your brand, but you can be controversial indirectly. So for example, in my channel, bear me with me, I'm just opening the garage for my girlfriend here. On my channel, I will strategically talk about people like Kanye or Lil Nas X. Why? Because I know there's going to be two people with different opinions on them that are going to like be arguing about like Christianity or something in the comment section, right? Like I'm being polarizing by talking about polarizing people. And my video doesn't give my opinion. I'm just telling a story about them. I just know that people are then going to just naturally want to argue because they have strong opinions on these people, right? So, other things of controversy, what are some strong opinions you have that go against the status quo, right? Like, what are things that like, those are the things that are going to make you stand out, that people are going to know you for, right? Another big one, this is what I do on my channel a lot, is use the word you, right? I think where a lot of people go wrong in their content is they make it about themselves. Make it about the person watching you. What are they more interested in than themselves? Nothing. No one's more interested in themselves than them. So when you make it about them by using words like you, right? They're more likely to pay attention. Sorry, my dog is barking right now. I'm gonna go in the other room. But so anyways, outside of that, another thing you can do is bait them to comment, right? So for example, I did a video on this artist, Kid Leroy, right? But to bait them to comment, I literally just said Kid Leroy, right? Like I purposely mispronounced it because I know that when I do that, I'm going to get a bunch of people in the comment section going, Kid Leroy, it's Kid Leroy, and it works, right? Like I'm playing chess here. It's really understanding, like the biggest thing with marketing is like understanding psychology, understanding how to get people to do something, right? So all these tactics, like I said, they may only move the ball 0.2%, but the more of them you add all of them. Well, now you just move the ball 6%. And then that's what pushes you into the next tier. Do you guys have any questions on hooks or anything regarding this section specifically?
Not on that. I do have a question regards when you were doing like a scheduler. So I know Justin mentioned you could schedule content on Facebook through the business suite. Does TikTok have something similar where you could schedule TikTok content?
So you can schedule up to 10 days worth of content on TikTok. However, bear with me here in a couple seconds. I'm going to show you a tool that's literally going to be a game changer for you that could literally 1,000,000x your views with 20 minutes of work. And I'll go into that in a second. You'll see. Okay. Just bear with me here for a second.
Cool. Appreciate it.
So like I was mentioning earlier, the number one goal of the testing phase is to find a repeatable content strategy. All the stuff we did right there are tricks we can use to increase our probability. But the number one thing that will increase our probability is just finding a repeatable formula, right? So here's a couple, here's how you can find that. So you can go onto TikTok, type in your niche, then come over here, go to videos and then filter by like most viewed or most liked this week, right? So there's a little filter button. I don't know if I did it on this video, but you can come in here to your niche and just see what's working right now, right? And you can pull ideas from this, right? That way what you're doing is, based off of what's already working, right? You can find ways to do either your own version of these videos or draw inspiration from them to create your own hooks that are slightly different. You know what I mean? And here's some case studies, right? So this is my friend Josh.
What's a piece of information that you...
Here, one sec. He runs a channel called CEO Watch List, right? It's actually like my best friend from high school, right? So I was living with this guy way before he ever launched this channel. He was literally my manager at Taco Bell at one point when we worked there. So believe me, if this guy can do this, you guys can do it, right? And so basically he started off his channel just making whatever, right? He was doing fishing, doing all these different videos. And then he made this video, which was talking about how senators are basically like, you can get like insider talk, I'll just play the video, just watch it.
You learned that feels illegal to know?
Probably if you're an American citizen, you actually have the right to look up and see which stocks rich people, CEOs, CFOs, people that are high up in companies are buying, and you're allowed to copy it. So I'm going to show you the website I use because I made 17% on a stock in just one day today.
So he made this video, right? And it went crazy. It got like 18 million views, right? And so we went, oh, okay, if I make investing content talking about how these senators and big CEOs are like, like what stocks they're picking, people are super interested in that. So he tripled down and made a bunch of content following that formula, right? Talking about the stocks he's picking from senators and CEOs, right? So he makes other videos, right? All these videos, same formula, right? He's literally just finding stocks that big CEOs and big Senate, people in government are using, and then telling you what they are, right? So from that, he was able to launch his business CEO watch list. He has over 1 million followers on TikTok and scaled this on Instagram as well. And, in this first year, doing all organically without spending a single dollar on paid ads, he, built a 7-figure business, right? And a big thing he's done that works really well is he has like a live schedule that he sticks to, right? So the big reason he's so successful is because he found this content that generates a lot of attention, but then more importantly, he directed it somewhere. Where he chose to direct it was to his lives that he does every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m., 4:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. Eastern. And on those lives, he teaches you how to swing trade. And from that, he, pitches his offer at the end. And every time he goes live, he sells 5 to 10 of them at like 500 a pop. He goes live 3 times a day and just does that religiously, right? And was able to literally springboard $1 million business without spending a single dollar on advertising, right? So that's an example in the investing niche. Now, this is an example, me and him worked on this just as like a testing phase together. So we made like a drop shipping page selling these chicken necklaces, right? And basically, we just wanted to show that these strategies we both did can work for literally any vertical, right? So our goal was to get traffic promoting these chicken necklaces. So we started by just posting a lot of videos. Notice none of them are really hitting. Like that one did all right, but like, most of these are flopping. And then I had this video where I hid the chicken chain on like a sushi conveyor belt, and it actually did pretty well. I split tested it a couple different times with different captions, and they all seem to perform well. So after that, I did one where I hid it in a McChicken, and those perform pretty well. So now I had the formula. I tested some other videos still. I'm still not afraid to, test, but those flopped. And when I went back to the food ones, now I know what my formula is. Hide it in food, right? And as I continue that formula, that alone probably put my probability up to 10, 20%. And then voila, we have our first winner, right? Oh, where is it? I had one that got like 200K, right? But most of these have started to go viral. And I've been able to build a channel. Oh, I pinned it. That's why, right? And now from that strategy of hiding it in food, about 1 in every 10 goes crazy. So I was able to go viral multiple times, getting millions of views for this channel in the matter of like a month, right? Because I found something that worked, and then I just made like 12 of these videos a day. If I know 1 out of 10 is going to hit and I make 10 a day, every day I'm going to have one that does well, right? So this guy has done this amazing in the music industry.
At this point,
so he basically had this video go viral where he got out of his car and started running, right? And his song's just playing in the background, right? He did that and his video went super viral. So now what does he do every time he drops a song? He gets in his car and he just starts running, right? So he did it with his other songs, right? And so now every time he drops a song, all he's got to do is make like 20 of these videos. But he's not afraid to test, right? So just because you find videos that work doesn't mean that you can't make other videos as well. And he found another formula that worked on his channel, which is replying to a video comment and then playing his song, right? So that's what he did with this.
I just got posted on Lyrical Lemonade. If this not the summer anthem, I don't know what is. Listen.
Right? So what's his formula? Video reply, say something to it, play his song, right? So he'll do this with other ones, right?
And I let him. You know why? Because I want to run the game instead. Listen.
Right? So you get the idea. He's found now with him, he has multiple viral strategies that are working. So now he can just cycle between these two videos. And they're so easy for him to make. He can make those videos in 10 minutes, right? So he's put out like 2,500 videos, right? Because he can just pound these out. How hard is it for him to get out of his car and just start running with his song playing in the background? How hard is it for him to do a video reply and then just rap the same 8 bars? So from that, he's been able to create an entire fan base for free solely off of TikTok, right? These are the things that will really push you over the edge. It's finding these strategies, right? For the e-commerce brand, it was hiding it in the food. For Passion Toolbox, it's talking about artists. For investing, it's talking about what he had here, etc. Right? That's really what makes the biggest channels hit. So once you understand that, you'll start to consume content differently. Now, when you see content that hits on your For You page or on Reels, click on their profile and go, are they doing a lot of these videos? And then you realize, oh, okay, that's the pattern they're using, right? And you can start to learn all these different patterns that people are implementing and find what you could do for your own channel. And once you start viewing this more as a producer and less of a consumer, it changes how you look at content, right? Because now whenever I view content, I'm looking for these patterns. I'm like, what are their hooks? What are their editing styles? What are they doing? How are they driving this traffic, right? And I'm learning. I'm almost like funnel hacking, right? But just more on the organic creation side, right? So just to kind of recap how we get out of the testing phase, what that whole process is, we pick who we're serving. We study those that serve them the best in our niche, what content's performing the best. And that can also be outside of your niche as well. Draw inspiration from whatever's working. Post 1 to 4 times a day until something works, and then recreate that content over and over and over again, right? So from there, we now got to move on to the optimization phase, right? So one of the big things we want to do is encourage engagement, right? Like I said earlier, we want to increase our watch time, right? So some strategies we can use to encourage engagement, the goal is to start a conversation, right? So we can do this both in the captions, right? So for example, on this videos, I'm like, do you think the Island Boys fell off? Well, a bunch of people are coming and give their opinions because they have strong opinions on the Island Boys, right? Coming back to that thing I said about talking about controversial figures. People have strong opinions on these guys, and most of them are willing to voice them, right? So I'm baiting them to talk about it because I know they're going to come in here and then there's going to be one dude that comments like, nah, they're actually cool. And then they're going to get in a huge argument in my comment section. And you know what's happening while they're having that argument? My comment count is going up. But more importantly, my watch time is going up because that video is playing on repeat in the background while they're sitting here like, listen, you little, fucker, like, I hate the, we're trying to bait people into having conversations with each other, right? So another thing you can do that is, whatever topic it is, do something about that topic, right? So this video I did on Fat Joe, that got 8 million views. I was like, what's Fat Joe's best song, right? 121 replies, right? I bet a lot of those replies are people debating about which song is the best one, right? We're trying to encourage this engagement, right? That's how you build a real community. So you want to become a hub for a conversation around your niche. This is how we become an authority, right? So we can also accomplish this through editing techniques, right? So a big one is when you're telling stories, you want to make them visual, right? So we can do this through the green screen feature on TikTok, which allows you to overlay an image behind you. We can also do this through BRoll. So there's a site called pexels.com where you can basically get access to a bunch of free high quality stock footage. I'll just pull it up real quick so you can see. This site is a game changer, right? So you can come on here and let's say I'm in the fitness niche. I can come in here and type woman working out. Right? And not only will I have a bunch of photos I can use, but 141,000 high quality videos that you can come in here and you have the rights to use. So look, as women's working, right? So you can come in here and use all this footage. Now, if this isn't showing you what you want, right? I could just come in here, woman exercising, there we go, right? So now you can come in here and you have a bunch of high quality footage. So I'll show you examples of what this looks like painting those stories, right? So we have, so this one is using the green screen. I did add a thumbnail in here, which is something you can do on Canva. You have to do that outside of the app though. But you can do this with the green screen feature. So this is what that looks
Millions
like.
of dollars selling water. One day, 50 Cent was walking through the grocery store. He saw a gallon of water selling for $2.89. Next to that, you saw another one selling for 52 cents. This got 50 thinking. He knew if he put those two waters in a cup, he wouldn't be able to tell the difference. This sparked 50 cents.
So you get the idea, right? I'm like 50 was walking through the grocery store. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on Google Images, find a picture of a grocery store, right? You want to
I actually wanted to keep watching that. I'm sad you paused
exactly,
it.
right?
You're a good
Well,
storyteller.
go follow Passion Toolbox. Yeah, and then but you can also do that with high quality B-roll, right? So this is one thing I'll do is when these videos hit with the green screen, I'll download them. So you can use a site called TikTok Watermark Remover, where you can just copy the link and download this without the watermark on it. And then I'll literally go in an editing app. So you can use apps like InShot. They're like, I think it was like $14 for a year, or like, I think it's like $2 a month. You can edit these videos and overlay these B-roll on top of the videos that already performed as, green screen effects, right? So that's another big thing, which I'll dive into a little deeper in a second, but is reposting your content, right? Like think about all these major TV networks like Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. Do they spend $2 million to make an episode and then air it once and then never play it again on their channel? Or do they have that shit on repeat, every single, week, right? It's the same thing with all the content you're creating. 95% of your traffic to 99% of your traffic is coming from the For You page. Those are people that have never seen you before, right? And let's say the last time you posted that video was 3 months ago. Well, how many new people have come into your ecosystem since then, right? So most of the people seeing our content are seeing it for the first time. So be comfortable reposting your content. It's not going to hurt your audience. Chances are they haven't even seen it, right? So we can also do this through, like I said, high quality B-roll. So here's an example of that. If it wants to load.
Meme. Here's how Gideon used a haircut to get a TV commercial. Every year, brands spend millions of dollars to advertise themselves at sports games. They know between all the people at the game, all the media outlets covering it, and all the highlights that will be seen after, a lot of people will see their brand. Well, Gideon found a way to get more attention than all those brands buying sponsorships using nothing but a pair of clippers. A couple of days ago, he got courtside tickets to the Timberwolves game. And while he was at the game, he had his barber give him a haircut. This was so unexpected that he got coverage on the big screen. He got talked about on the broadcast and blasted all over ESPN.
All right, you get the idea. So notice what I did on that video too is use these tactics. So a big one is cut the fat, right? So every second my video goes over 30 seconds, the chances of it hitting, I've found go down, right? So when you're going through those videos, you need it to roll straight to the next point. Cut any dead space, right? Figure out how to say the same thing in less words, right? Because remember, think what we're doing. It's short, quick, changing. Notice in these videos, every 1 second, you're seeing a new visual. Like watch this. Like, see how quick I'm editing.
Here's how Gideon used a haircut to get a TV commercial. Every year,
Change.
brands spend millions of dollars to advertise themselves at sports games. They know between all the people at the game, all the media outlets
right?
covering
It's not even a second, right? So what is that doing? It's forcing you to pay attention because there's a lot going on. I'm strategically doing this to release dopamine in your brain. I'm also adding captions, right? If you're not adding captions to your videos, you need to make sure you are, because a lot of people are watching these videos with the sound off. They might be on the bus or their girlfriend's talking to them, but they don't want to listen. And so they're distracting themselves on TikTok. They're in class, right? There's a lot of positions where just people are watching these without sound. And so you don't want those people scrolling off your videos because they don't know what's going on. They'll watch it with no sound if there's captions, right? It's also another thing that can keep our attention, right? So make sure you're doing that. You can do that both in the TikTok app. The benefit about doing a TikTok app is now that helps with SEO because the app is actually recording what you're saying in their database. But you can also do it through captions like what I have here.
Highlights that will be seen
which
after.
To me, I think look better aesthetically. And you can use that, with the caption app. Great tool. I know Justin's talked about that one. And yeah, so also, like I mentioned, thumbnails, right? So I did that on this video. I threw a thumbnail in at the beginning, right? So think about this,
Dollars.
right? You see this, how 50 Cent made millions selling water with this backdrop. Well, when under the hashtag 50 Cent, how many videos have a fire thumbnail like this? Probably not most. People are mostly just using something that's auto-generated by TikTok. So now anyone looking under the 50 Cent hashtag, they're going to see my video and it's going to stand out, right? It's just another technique that we're implementing to increase our probability, right? That might only do it by 0.1, but for all we know, that's the 0.1 that made the difference, right? Put it over the edge, right? Before I move on, any questions about editing? Any questions about the editing techniques? Anything on this? Take that as a no.
Yeah, I have a question. So when you're talking about a thumbnail, right? There's not like a section in TikTok where you actually, I mean, I guess there is, right? You have like on your, well, you have like the
Well, there
preview on
is
your
a
page.
section on TikTok where you can create a thumbnail with like their text. It just doesn't look
Right.
very good. So like what I do is I just come in here on Canva.
Right.
Why is this? How do I, all right, there. So I'll just literally like come over here on Canva. And then what I do is I just edit these literally in Canva, right? So like I have a template I use. It's not loading, but one second. So I'll just literally, I have one that I just go to every time, right? And then I'll just make it here on Canva. They have a bunch of templates, right? But it's really easy to make them on Canva. And then I'll just download them straight from Canva and just edit them in and overlay them on like an editing app like InShot, right? So I think it's on my other team. I have a pro. Honestly, guys, if you don't have a pro Canva account, I would recommend. It's the best $15 I spend a month. Like this is the greatest tool for making your content good. And when you have it interlaid on your phone, it becomes very easy, right? So I come in here and I just edit all my thumbnails straight up on Canva like this, right? And all I got to change out each time is the title and the image. And then you can throw like, you know, animations on here. And then literally I just have Canva on my phone. I edit this on InShot and I'll just have on the Canva app, download it straight from my phone and just overlay it onto InShot. But like you can come in here and like add like animations and stuff. And then all I got to do each time I post a video is just change the image and what I put in the text. And it's very easy to overlay within the videos. You can also just download the actual image itself instead of, because you can have it like that where it's actually in the video. I like doing that because on TikTok, you can't upload your own thumbnail. But I know on Instagram you can, right? So that's what I'll do is I'll either just drag it straight from the video or I'll edit it myself and just upload it, which, you know, it's just made since I've done that, just the aesthetic on my page looks a lot better, right? So like you come to my page now and like, it looks like this versus before when I didn't do that, it looked like, you know, like it just didn't look as good. Like it's not bad, right? Like this is me just using the thumbnail straight from TikTok. So you can do that as well. I just, you know, personally, instead of having like videos like this, right, where I'm making like a stupid face or like whatever, right, because you're trying to time it right, by doing it like that, you know, now you come up here on my profile and it just looks a lot more professional in my opinion. So yeah, let me pull this back up here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me just pull this presentation back up. All right. Anyone else have any questions while this is loading?
So which app are you focusing on to edit your reels? InShot, or I know there's another one called Video Leap.
There's a million. Find one that you enjoy that's comfortable. Most of them are pretty much the same. There's actually a really good app if you're starting from scratch. Let me grab my phone. I actually got an app better than InShot that I would recommend. It has like more integral features. 1 sec, I'm grabbing my phone. I'll tell you what it is.
There was also that video that you had 1 second clips, the basketball one with the haircut. How are you doing that?
So how am I doing what specifically?
Like those specific clips, are you just screen recording them on your
Yeah, so you can
iPhone?
do it a couple ways, right? Like with the Gideon one, you know, there's not gonna be footage of him on Pexels, right? That's more kind of like professional stock footage. But you can also just straight up screen record on your phone. So pull up a YouTube video, screen record it, and then you can just take that file and just overlay it in these apps, right? You're using what's called, it's like PIP, PIP. It's just like a button you press. It allows you to overlay footage over the main file. So when I record, what I do is I'll just straight up set up like a tripod with good lighting, and I have a pre-written out script, right? So I'll write out the script for my video, and then I'll literally just record it, just one go in like 2 minutes of just the actual, reading the script, like line by line. Then I go in, I cut out all the dead space, me messing up, get the shortest possible version of it I can. And so I have the original, kind of just script with my face saying the words, right? Then from there, I go in and I add imagery through the BRoll. And that's where I use like either pixels or I'll just straight up screen record. Another good thing you can do is you can do like Instagram to MP4, like Instagram Reels to MP4, or TikTok watermark remover. You can use these tools to straight up get B-roll from actual videos themselves, right? So if I'm doing a video on Gideon, I could go to his TikTok account and find videos on there that are high quality that represent the image I want. And the cool thing about doing that is it's already formatted for TikTok, right? So it becomes very easy to just get like, all right, if I want a quick clip of him at the game, I'm gonna go find that viral video of him on TikTok where he's getting his haircut. I'm a TikTok watermark remover that so I can download the file without the watermark on it. And then I'll just take that, mute it, and use that for the B-roll.
So, and you're stitching everything together with InShot?
Yes. Another one that you can use that I really like, if you haven't used any yet, it's called Vita, Vita. It's really similar to InShot, but I think it's just got some better features and more features. So yeah, that's outside of editing. Any questions on editing before I move? More questions on that before I move on?
Oh, thank you, brother.
All right, cool. So cool. We've optimized our channel. We're getting a bunch of views. We're getting all these followers. You got to be careful though. Biggest mistake I made is that virality is a drug. It really is. Like when you see that video and you're refreshing your screen, it's going from 20,000 to 30,000 in literally 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden it's at 100 and it's at 1 million and now it's at 8 million. Like that is a drug. You're going to chase that dragon, right? And the problem is those vanity metrics don't equal business. And if you focus on solely that, it's going to cost you your career. That was the biggest mistake I made over the last 2 years, was I was way too focused on the number and not the right KPIs, which is this getting me on the phone with people, right? So for example, that video with Fat Joe that got 8 million views, that video itself, it got ripped by another channel that got like 20 million on their channel, that stole it from me, put it on YouTube. A bunch of meme pages started picking it up. And from all those channels that picked it up, I have over 150 million views on that video. And you know how much money I made from it? Literally $30 just from the creator fund. That didn't bring me in any business. I made $30 from 150 million views. Like it hurts to even say that, right? And the reason why was because the video did nothing but entertain people. It didn't have a call to action. It didn't do anything to pull them back to me. So yes, it got views, but other than just entertaining someone briefly, I didn't have a way to harness that attention, right? And versus another video I did recently, this one right here. Here's what I would do if I managed Guitar Center's marketing department, right? So I'll just show you this one real quick.
Do you know Guitar Center only has 6,000 followers on TikTok? Considering the company that owns them brings in almost $2 billion a year, this is honestly negligent. Here's what I would do if I managed their marketing department. First, I would take my budget that I'm currently using on broad forms of media like billboards, and I would allocate that to hiring full-time content creators. I would type in hashtag Guitar Center in TikTok, filter by most viewed, and find musicians like Alan who are already going viral making content in Guitar Centers. I would then pay them a full-time salary to create content for Guitar Center. I would then create a different social media account for each department so I could optimize the algorithm to each one of these niches. Once I developed a proof of concept with this model, I would then scale it out to every single location. TikTok's platform is geo-targeted, so this will actually help a lot with bringing in real customers. This would also make it really easy to scale and manufacture my own trends because I could roll out these challenges at every single location at the exact same time.
Right. So with this video, it's speaking to a lot more specific person. Right. So now that I'm transitioning my brand more into speaking to these high level people versus something like that Fat Joe video, which I'll just show you to give you context real quick. Where I think I posted it on here. Yeah.
Did you know Fat Joe cut off his friends by pretending to be broke? When Fat Joe started making millions, everyone wanted to be his friend. He would roll 50 deep and pay for everyone. But one day he decided to see if they were truly loyal.
I was checking them. I said, I ain't got it. I said, I can't really hold y'all down like that. Out of the 50 guys that was there, only 6 of them said, yo, if you dead broke, I'll be with you, man, no matter what, every day. That's crazy. Those are 6 guys that's still with me now.
Right. So that video has 150 million views on the internet. But notice I'm not in it. It's more just entertaining than it is actually providing value and specific, value for my niche. Right. So that's broad. It'll reach a large audience. It'll get a lot of views. But something like this, only a certain type of person is going to like this type of video. And it only has what? Literally, where is it? 300 views on Reels. And I think on Instagram, it has or on TikTok, it has 1,000, right? But from that video, I got hit up by this guy yesterday. One sec. I got hit up by, funny, the Hook Points book I was telling you to read earlier. This is actually the author of it, ironically. Dope book you should check out. But this guy hit me up, right? He saw that video and it spoke to him. So he hit me up. We had a conversation last night and this guy's like, a big deal, right? He has a song with fucking Donny Osmond, right? Like he's super connected in the industry. And so that really shows you it's not about vanity metrics. It's about creating content that actually moves someone, right? So don't fall in that trap because when you implement all these tactics, you're going to have some random videos like the one I have that go crazy. And you're going to be tempted to keep chasing those metrics. But I fell into that trap and I spent a big portion of my time on Passion Toolbox focused on going viral and not on making fucking money, right? Not getting clients, closing, offering them services, right? So the real truth is when we generate all this traffic, we want to harness it and then own it through an email or a phone number, because these platforms change. For all we know, TikTok's going to get banned in the United States in 6 months or something. And then all these other platforms go, we don't have to compete with them on that. Then all of a sudden, short form media isn't what's popular anymore. There's an evolution and life cycle to these platforms. That's why my goal with this is to show you how to become an authority, because becoming an authority in your niche is evergreen. And it'll allow you to, outside of just short form media in general, apply all these tactics to whatever the current trend is, right? But the goal of all those, regardless of what's getting us that attention, is to own it and then turn them into clients and customers, right? So like I was saying, right, instead of chasing streams, followers, views, compliments, likes, things like that, we want to chase customers, emails, phone numbers, connections, affiliates, and feedback, right? Those are the things that are going to make you money. These things stroke your ego, right? Don't fall in that trap like I did, right? So the biggest way to fix this is by adding a call to action in your videos, right? So for example, I put out this video, right? Here's how to get 100,000 streams using a plastic bag. I don't know why I thought I put a video there. I guess it's just an image, but this video, I talked to this dude that, basically just told me about how he used to go to these malls and like hand out like dollar bills and pay people to, push their music, right? So this video got like 13,000 views on my channel, nothing crazy. But from this, I got 50 DMs. For whatever reason, that message really spoke to my audience. I got 50 DMs for free. Like, how much is your cost per message? Imagine you could get 50 of those for free, right? And so the reason why is because at the end of the video, I threw in a call to action, which was, want a free custom marketing plan? Shoot me a DM on Instagram, right? I hooked them in, how to get 1,000 streams using a plastic bag. They're like, what the hell does that mean? They're interested. They watch the video. They hear a story. Hey, here's how I got 100,000 streams using a plastic bag. We did da 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 da. Wow, that's super interesting. Hey guys, by the way, you want a free custom marketing plan? Shoot me a DM. Like, who doesn't want that? They're like, this content was valuable. This guy obviously knows what the fuck he's talking about, and he's offering to help me for free. Why not? Right? That's why 50 people hit me up. You know what I mean? And you can do this in any niche, right? So you could be like, DM me fitness for a free workout plan, right? Whatever your lead magnet is, could be your, your call to action at the end of these videos. So when it comes to how often you use the call to action, just use the kind of gauge, which is the more I ask, the more. It's like a bank account, right? Like if you put in $50 and you ask to take out 25, they're going to be down. But if you put in 50 and ask to take out 100, they're going to be like, no, right? So view that relationship with your audience kind of similar. Every time you ask them to do something, you're taking $1 out of the relationship bank account. The more you just provide value, the more you're investing in. And how much to throw in your call to actions is really a nuance. There's no real right answer, right? I just realized people are dropping things in the chat.
Yo, Jackson, just a heads up too. We've got a hard cutoff in like 17 minutes, just to make sure you're good on time.
Oh yeah, that should be fine.
Good shit.
Yeah, but basically you throw in a call to action. That's how we harness the attention, right? So outside of that, now we're getting consistent traffic, etc. We're optimizing it properly. We're editing it properly. Now, how do we amplify that, right? So the number one way to do it is to repost your content. Repost. I put out this video on my TikTok. It got 8,000 views. When I put it on Reels, it got 2.7 million, right? Imagine if I just went, this video didn't hit. I'm not going to repost it, right? It's a probability game. Now, this tool right here will literally change everything. It's a tool called Repurpose.io. So basically what it is it's a software that does this automatically for you. So you can have it set up to where you post on TikTok, it'll automatically repost it on your Instagram, and it'll automatically repost it on Shorts, automatically repost it on Pinterest. And from that, we're able to amplify our content to 5, 6, 7 different platforms without having to do any extra work, right? Like this alone could 10x the traffic in your business overnight. And what's crazy is when you sync your account with this tool, it'll automatically download all the content you've ever put out on these platforms without watermarks and allow you to just take it and immediately repost it on other platforms. So this tool is literally a game changer. I just talked to the CEO recently. I'll provide a link for you guys for that to click on. It is an affiliate link. So if you like the information here and you want to help me out with that, that'd be cool. But it is a game changer because I spend, like you saw that Excel spreadsheet I had back here where I did this, I tracked all this and then I would repost on each platform, right? So I put the video on TikTok and then I'd manually repost it on Instagram, manually post it on Reels, etc. By literally having this tool, I just got an hour of my day back, right? It really is a game changer, right? And not only does it work with short form media, but it'll actually automate the editing of long form media. So one strategy you can use to create a lot of content very quickly, which I'm about to dive into a second, is what we call pillar content, right? So that's like long form interviews. You can take the right long form interviews, use this kind of hook story call to action format we've been talking about, and get 4 or 5 good short form clips from that long form content. This app actually allows you to automate that. It syncs it with Canva and allows it to set it up so with the caption you use, that will automatically repurpose it into content for these other platforms based off of the chapters you create on YouTube. You guys can make like chapters for your long form, and then it will take those chapters, automatically chop it up into short form, and automatically post it on your other platforms. And once you set it up once, it'll just do it automatically from there. Right. So this alone is a game changer right now, that if you implement this one thing that I taught you overnight with the content you've already created, you could set it up to literally 100,000x the amount of traffic you've currently gotten from your content. So the other big
I got a
strategy.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
I didn't know if you were going to open up to questions. I just wanted to get
Yeah,
this in.
I'm about to
beforehand.
do
I've been
that
holding.
literally in like 4 slides.
Then I can
go
wait,
ahead.
man. It's okay.
All right, yeah, I'll go through it quick because we're almost done. So the other big thing we want to implement is this strategy called the Dream 100. I learned this from the book Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. Is obviously you're trying to curate an audience of your ideal clients, but what about the top 100 people in your niche that have already done that? If we can just get in front of their audience, then we're able to fast track that process a lot quicker. So the number one hack to do that is by interviewing them. Now, if you're implementing all these strategies I'm talking about, you're starting to get viral content, that process becomes very easy because you can just hit them up and say something like this. This is what I do. Hey, what's up? Insert business. I found you from blank and thought it was blank. I run a channel talking about blank. So I take a screenshot of this and I'll just give you an example. Hey, what's up, Matt? I found you from TikTok. I saw your video about sync licensing for musicians and thought it was super helpful. I run a channel talking about the music industry and would love to talk to you more about sync licensing. I'd love to interview you. After that, we could chop it up into content we can use for both of our platforms. Here's a link to some of my content. Let me know if you want to chat. I'd be happy to send you my schedule and set something up. That's it. And that becomes very, you'd be surprised how many people say yes, because we're all trying to make content. And especially with someone like me, who's had a bunch of viral content, I can just show my videos with 8 million views. But even if you have 20,000 views and it's just a good video, a lot of times they're going to say yes, because they got to do that work regardless of you. And if you have a platform, now it becomes very easy for them to want to get access to your platform, right? So by doing this, it does a couple of things. First, it establishes you as an authority, because when all the top people in your niche are following you, people are going to see that and be like, oh, damn, this guy follows him. I love that guy. Well, he must be legit, right? Also, like I said, it allows you to make pillar content and you get to learn from experts for free. Now, let's say you interview someone in the fitness niche and they tell you some crazy, fact about how to lose belly fat. Well, now when you're working with your client, you can go, oh, by the way, I was talking to this PhD and he was telling me about this thing he did to, help lose belly fat. So we should do that for you, right? Now you're leveraging all the authority that person built for your own clients, and you have content showing that, wow, if, you're basically getting to leverage all their authority, right? And that'll help you get more clients, both through their channel, because a lot of times they'll repost it, right? You post a video on your channel, you put that on your stories, you tag them. A lot of times they'll repost it. Now their entire audience that watches their stories is now getting diverted to you for free, right? And so growing your network is a really important piece of that. There's a bunch of different things we can do between going to conferences, vet your network, find people within it, make content about people. That's a good way to get in, contact with them. Big one is give people their flowers, right? So if you're scrolling on TikTok and you see a video you like, get in the habit of just going to that person on Instagram, DMing them and telling them. That'll start conversations that lead into opportunities and relationships. Right? You can actually become their customer. A good way to get, the right people in your network is pay them money, right? Who doesn't like that? And then you can establish a relationship with them from there, right? I just kind of breezed through this quiz because I know I want to, answer your guys' questions, but just quick things to remember. It's a numbers game. Build your self-esteem around posting, not around the outcome. The number one reason your content is flopping is because your hook sucks. So go back to the drawing board and try and focus on that. If your content isn't hitting, chances are you didn't get their attention in the first 3 seconds, right? Don't chase vanity metrics. Traffic means nothing without the back-end infrastructure to monetize it. Don't be like me and get 150 million views and make $30. Focus on fixing that by adding call to actions and finding ways to own the relationship with your audience through email and text. And the quickest way to the top is who you know. So interviews are the cheat code to network. That's the quickest way to, get what you want from people. That being said, if any of you want help, I just launched my new Instagram that I'm going to be running, specifically helping brands like yourself do this. So just DM me. I'll audit your brand for free. I'm sure we're going to include a, scheduler down below once this video goes live and stuff. And that being said, any questions?
If I may now, I've been holding it for a while because you jogged my mind about the hook. So it's like the issue that I'm running into is I'm teaching about video, audio, and lighting equipment and strategies and techniques, but I'm talking to coaches and consultants and otherwise influencers. But what TikTok is sending me, first of all, Instagram is still in the phase of sending me people from third world countries, and it's cute and everything, but whatever. But TikTok is sending me a lot of videographers, people who already know about that content and that subject matter. So what do you think between the written copy, the verbal copy, or like what's on screen? How do I better teach the algorithm who I'm talking to?
So one is your hashtags.
Context clues.
Right?
The hashtags are actually all about coaching and consulting, sales, and marketing, and things like that. I don't use like camera lenses and lighting in my hashtags.
So a big thing to understand about viral traffic is it's a broad blanket, and the cream is going to rise to the top. I think when you implement all these strategies, it's important about knowing who you're speaking to and speaking directly to them in your content. And then it becomes about, like I said, selling without selling. So I would do that. One big way to do that is through storytelling. So if I could summarize for all of you what to do to build an audience, tell one good story a day. That could be, here's how I set up my studio. Here's how I did X, Y, and Z. Here's why businesses are fumbling their content creation, right? Whatever it is, tell stories that connect to the people you're trying to serve. Then from there, it just becomes a numbers game. And like I said, it's not just about going viral, right? Like that video with Guitar Center has 1,300 views in total on the internet. And I got 2 high-level blue check verified leads from it versus content with millions don't necessarily have that, you know, that same effect. So I think it's parts of it is just, it's a numbers game, right? Like I said, I had that video that got me 50 DMs from one video, but I also have videos where I get 0, right? I just know if I post 3 times a day that the probability effect is going to take over and inevitably I'm going to have those that hit. Then from there, well, guess what? If that video is hitting, I would use that as an ad, because if it's working, you can ride that momentum by running that as an ad to get continual leads, right? Like a big part of this too is to improve the ads we're running, because you're getting data on what organic content your audience is resonating with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, is it then mainly to call out the audience? What's the most important thing, or are they all important between your caption, your hashtags, and your copy in the video?
So goal of the caption, create engagement. Goal of the hashtags, get the audience to know who this service to. Outside of reaching the direct people, that's going to come from a combination of speaking to them through your content, and then 2, playing the numbers game. You're going to get a lot of people that aren't your ideal client, right? Even I do, right? I'm realizing now I need to pivot to business owners because I'm able to generate this attention of all these musicians, but they're all broke, right? So now I'm shifting my whole content to serving business owners, and that's going to take some time, right? But it's really more about making content that connects with people and then getting access to their network. I think that's a big way that you can do that as well, especially with something like, you know, what you're doing. It's like this high ticket kind of stuff like that. To me, I think what would make the most sense just logically of what would get you those clients is referrals of high level people that have a bunch of other people that have that same need. So if you serve this content to those people, you may put out 100 videos and only attract 10 of those actual specific ideal people. But from that, you're able to foster a relationship with 3 of them, and through their referral network, line up 4 other clients, right?
Yeah.
There's no silver bullet. It's about just, it's kind of like the analogy I uses. It's like if you went crabbing, right? How do you catch more crabs? Drop more cages. You know what I mean? Do we really know? We don't know until we pull the cage back up and see what's in there. But I know if I keep dropping these in the ocean, the more I drop, inevitably I'm going to catch some crab.
Cool. Got it.
And then just recreate what works, right? When you find something, wow, for whatever reason, this video attracted a lot of the right people. We'll do more of that, right?
Yeah, I've already had like 3 that like sort of popped, and pop for me means just like 11 to 24K, and it's like they have no correlation whatsoever. So it's, again,
that's
just have
the
to
problem.
keep
That's why
testing
we
and
want. That's why we want to understand with everything I'm teaching you here. The goal is finding something that we can recreate. Because just from the probability game, you're going to have some shit that randomly hits. But if you don't know why it hits in the first place, you're not going to be able to recreate it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Any other question? I see we have in the chat. Are you worried about copyright infringement on the screen recording? No, that's the whole internet. The whole internet, all media is people ripping the content. And I've literally had people rip my content and get 20 million views. I mean, what am I really going to do about it? Like, I've never ran into that issue because I'm also creating original content. Right? It's not like I'm just ripping someone's video and just playing that. Like I'm just using that in the background while I'm telling my own story. Right? Could you break down what good post for fitness would be to get a lot of views? I'd say with fitness, it's solving their pain points, teaching them educational content. And then, like I said, find ways to tie in celebrities. Like, here's how I would, here's how to, look like Thor, right? Here's a Thor workout. You leverage borrowed interest, tie in the lessons you're teaching through nutrition and fitness exercises to someone they already care about, right? Here's how to get an ass like Cardi B, right? Things like that, right? I know there's a lot of information here. It's really daunting. I agree, Gordon. I'd say the biggest thing to understand, that's why I say if I could summarize everything to kind of not overwhelm you guys, tell one story a day. Take that screenshot I told you to take, add as many of those aspects into that story you're telling, and just focus on that. If you want more help outside of that, definitely book an appointment with me. I'll help all you guys. Because there is a lot. It does feel like drinking from a fire hose, right? I just told you a million different things you can do, right? At the end of the day, like I said, to summarize it to the number one things to focus on, tell a good story, talk about things they're interested in. And if your video's flopping, it's because your hook sucks. Hey, congrats on making it all the way through the training. Just want to remind you one more time, if you need any help, feel free to book a call with me. I will audit your brand, help you get your marketing strategy on point. And yeah, let's run it.